Hello classmates and hello Professor Baghdadi. My name is Lisi and today I'm gonna be answering the question of in the 1980s, what developments allowed the US to recover after it seemed that the American power was declining? So my answer will be based on chapter 4 from the book, and before starting and answering the question, I'm going to explain some very important key terms, which is the Cold War that happened from 1947 to 1991. This was a time where the world had a lot of conflict. It was a conflict between the US and the Soviet Union, and this resulted in massive armed buildups, proxy wars, and international conflicts. During the Cold War, we have also the Marshall Plan, which was named after Secretary General George C. Marshall, when after the war, Europe was economically affected. The whole economic area was in a very bad position. So the US thought it was a good idea and they did it, and they helped the whole region economically. They brought economic aid and also military aid to Europe. We also have the Warsaw Pact. This pact, it's a communist alliance that was made also in the Cold War between the Soviet Union and other Soviet satellite states, which they are in Central and Eastern Europe. These countries were Albania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Poland, and Romania. We also have a very important character in this time, which is Gorbachev. He was essentially the last Soviet leader in world history. And we also have democratization, which this is the transition to a more democratic political regime, including substantive political changes, moving in a democratic direction. And we have also capitalism, which is the economic system in which private actors own and control property in accord with their interests. So I'm going to start with the early 1980s. I'm going to explain where the world was during this whole time. So from this time we had two superpowers, which was America, the US, and the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was the second largest economy back in that time, and Soviets did not like this. So in 1984, Gorbachev came into power, and when he came into power, he did not like what he saw. So in his first 2 to 3 years, from 1985 to 1987, he made some reforms, and these reforms were focused in 3 areas, which the first one is perestroika, which this meant reconstruction. Second one is glasnost, which means openness, and the third one is demokratizacija, which means democratization. So these reforms were focused in the economic growth of the Soviet Union, the allowance of democratization to some non-communist independents to run the office and grow stronger. But after many years, by 1989, the outcome was that this was not working. And we have the rise of a great leader back in time, that it was Boris Yeltsin. He became the first president of the Russian Federation, and by 1991, the Soviets were no longer existing. So with the end of the Soviet Union, we have the rise of the US as a power. Essentially, they were the only ones. But why? Well, here we have a list of developments, which is a new age of technological innovation comparable to the Industrial Revolution. We also, this tied the world together like never before. And we also have computers, a new global highway of internet, We have electricity, power telegraph, and telephone lines. We also have combustion engines, which produce the automobiles. And with all this innovation, countries that wanted to get on board, they had to participate in international trade, which it was very beneficial for the US. The increase of economic contacts between the East and the West demonstrated the Soviets that the reforms were not working, and this is why they also failed. And also the new technological forces propelling the world towards unforeseen levels of interconnectedness in the 21st century. So here we see a big expansion of America in the market. So things like this, such as the Marshall Plan in Europe and the open door policy in Asia, showed that the US was able to have that world domination that they desired in that post-war period. Thank you.